Reupholstering old furniture can bring new life to tired-looking chairs, sofas, and ottomans. So I'm here with Linda today. She's going to reupholster a chair and talk to us about the process as well. Okay, Linda, so what do we have?
Well, we have a simple dining room chair, and one of the things is when you're upholstering, don't get over your head on something. If it really requires a professional, I strongly urge you to use a professional. The other thing is make sure when you're picking fabric is really important that you know it's called rubs. And you want something that's 15,000 rubs or more for upholstery. If you use something that's less, chances are it's going to wear and tear a lot sooner. Hence what they say rubs, it actually goes through a rub test. So very quickly we're going to unscrew the screws. I've already pre-unscrewed 2 of them to go faster for us. You might want to put those in the drawer because we do not want to lose
the screws.
I've done that before. Then you have to go out to the hardware store and find another one. So here we have the cushion seat. You can feel that there's a hard bottom here, and there's actually the padding is here. Sometimes you may need to kind of disassemble and add some more padding. This one is actually in very good condition, so we don't need to go ahead and repad it. So you're going to want to size it out, and the best way is to lay your fabric down. We'll get all of our tools out of the way. Here I have one that you can see we don't have that much left, so you can put that one down.
Is this the front or the back?
That is actually the front.
Okay.
So flip it over. Some fabrics are a little bit hard to tell what's front and what's not. So what you're going to do is put it down on your thing, kind of center it. I think this way is the way I originally cut it. And you're going to want to make sure you have about 6 inches to work with. You can go shorter as you get more experience, but you don't want to go too short and then have to go and get some more material. I've already pre-cut, so I already have this. So we're going to flip it over.
Now, are you going to reuse the batting here? Or
I'm not going to reuse that. I actually use this fabric back here, and I made my own backing. I used a solid. You can pretty much use any type of fabric. This one's kind of a solid, and it's a linen. You want to make sure that your thing is centered. So especially if you have a print. This one is a little bit, the print is forgiving, so I don't think we're going to have to worry about too much. But if you're doing something with a plaid and stripes, you need to make sure that you have this sitting correctly as you're pulling it. You might want to staple, flip it over, and check, and that's why I have that other flathead screwdriver, because you may have to readjust. I always like to do, it's called clock pull. You want to take your 12 and 6, it's called clock because you're using the numbers on a clock, and pull tightly and staple. So we need to get our staple gun out. Okay. Be careful with staple guns too. They are a tool. You can hurt yourself. Not that I haven't yet, but let's try not to do that.
If you have safety glasses at home, you should wear them as well.
So you want to pull tightly. That is the biggest thing with upholstering. You want to make sure it's tight. So you're going to pull tight. And I like to staple up towards the rim here. So you can see here where they've already stapled, that's where you want to be. So you want to pull.
Yay.
1 in. So then we're going to do the 6. So that was 12. And this is the 6. You're going to pull really tight. Once again. So we did 2. Now I like to do what's the 9 and 3 and get those pulled. So we'll leave the ends open. You're going to want to pull. Make sure you get it tight.
I was going to say, how tight do you think you're pulling?
Very
tight as you can.
I always like to pull as tight as you can.
Okay.
Especially because when you're stapling, it does loosen up a little bit. It moves.
And I think, you know, with fabric, you have to, especially with this type of fabric, it does move because it's slippery.
So we can kind of flip over and you can kind of see how it's coming together. Now the biggest challenge with reupholstering is obviously the corners, and you kind of want to slowly work the corners. You're going to actually like pull and fold them in and do it in little pieces. So you pull one corner, you're just going to play and kind of work the fabric slowly in so that you kind of don't get too much bulking, and I would say it kind of gets pulls, and you can see how it's, if it's not done correctly.
Like wrinkles.
A lot of wrinkles.
I love staple guns.
I do too.
They're not as big as the ones when you're building a house.
And you can kind of see how I'm having to overlap the fabric a little bit and kind of pleat it as you work through the corner.
Okay.
And it is kind of a slow process. You don't want to rush it too much. You can see here I'm kind of putting extra ones in. So we've gotten one corner done.
So let's check and see.
You can see how we unwrinkled it.
Yeah.
And so you just keep working your way around. And once you've kind of gotten all the way around, then you could reattach it. One of the other things, we flip it over, if we just kind of fold things in, I like to, just so people can see the kind of a finished product, I have it snuck here in the drawer, pre-cut. Again, I kind of jumped ahead, so I pre-cut this. After you pre-cut this, you would want to have this one pre-cut.
Okay, this is not the shape.
Nope.
There you go.
There it is. And then you can staple this on, and that way it finishes it off and you don't see all that material under there after you trim the material. So there you have a newly upholstered chair.
So now that you know how easy it is, grab the tools that you need and try to reupholster a chair in your home. A professional in the business once said, reupholstering is not about expertise, it's about patience and detail. I hope you enjoyed our show today. My name is Lenore Gonzalez. Thank you for watching Good Living by Design.